Hey guys, welcome back. It's BDCKR, and we're doing our weekly wrap-up. So, for Injustice, the main thing that's new, well, not new, but it's recurring, is the season online exclusive, which for this season is Cassandra Cain Batgirl. So, if you haven't grabbed that already, it's good to get an extra copy of it. And especially if you haven't grabbed the first copy, because, like we've done on one of the videos, you can actually do the glitch to buy her directly from the store if there's a pop-up and a challenge is currently running. So if you get the first copy of her, it's a lot easier to get all the next ones at a later time, and you don't have to be quite as stressed about it.
And just a day and a bit left in the Hot Girl Challenge, so it's going to end on Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
And lately it's been, when the one ends, there's often a new one starting. Lately it's been almost the same day, so...
Yeah, so that'll definitely be interesting. Hopefully in just a day or two we'll be seeing a new challenge.
Yeah.
So for Mortal Kombat X, the new challenge, Milena, has 2 weeks left. And because it's only standard difficulty, and because there's no way to reset it, there's really not a huge amount of rush to get this done, because you have 2 weeks to play through. Technically, there's not any other difficulty rating, so you can't compare it to something, but this is the equivalent of standard difficulty in any of the other games. And you can't reset it, so only do it once.
That's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
So, when her enemy's bleeding, she can heal herself for 25% of damage.
And if she's bleeding, she gets power, so...
Not bad at all.
She looks pretty cool.
She'd be good against Possessed Kenshi if Kenshi drops in, or Assassin Katana. Because Kenshi's burning. Assassin Katana, if she dropped in on Melina, that would actually be kind of cool. Regenerative bar power.
So, other than that, there's not really much new for Mortal Kombat X. But the main stuff that's been happening recently is in WWE Immortals. So
hold on, just grab our rewards.
Figure came up just around the right time. I know we're saying this again. We seem to be saying it every time that we said we weren't necessarily going to do it, but it was more because it was just we were changing the focus of the update, but if it still happens at the same time.
That's got to be the cheapest uncommon gear, 960.
Yeah.
Chip. See, 3600. Let's get to the rare stuff. I think we're top 1%. Bound Demon, sweet.
Nice.
Alright, so that's a good one.
It's getting close.
Too bad Quan Chi isn't better, because the special ability, this character-specific ones for Quan Chi, his attack is not very good.
Ooh, Power Glove.
Nice. Okay, reflect basic damage when blocking. Again, Jackie Briggs, hopefully she gets a gold card soon. I think this might be the only rare gear that doesn't have a gold character to wear it.
Yeah.
Alright. And so, yeah, the lots of stuff actually going on with Immortals. So the next thing we will do is go to Immortals.
There we go. Okay, so in WWE Immortals, there's a new season online exclusive, as you're seeing right now, which is the DX Invasion truck, which we're not exactly sure what it's going to be like yet, but a lot of the gear that comes out for all the new games just keep getting a little bit better and a little bit better, and so it's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be 4-star evolving into 5-star gear, and there's probably going to be something that makes it either really unique or really good. And so there's a new challenge, which is Dashing Rogue John Cena, which is, there's 8 days, so there's more than 1 week left, still enough time to definitely finish it, and even reset it a few times, for those of you who haven't gotten it yet.
And so you can see it's standard difficulty, but we've actually completed it a few times. So if you want to take a look at John Cena, the new one. Yeah, so again, reminder that the challenge reset works fine.
Yeah, if you didn't notice. So yeah, and this is the end, or not the end, but this is definitely a hit to the team that we've been seeing a lot, using Enlightened Big Show and Lumberjack Big Show for the massive amount of healing that people have been running up against a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And so this is again, not the end, but it's gonna modify it a little bit, where this guy might become a useful team member with that combo, and pretty much anyone else, as we said in the previous video, being really good.
His attack is pretty decent, a little bit on the higher side, and his health is decent too, so I think he could be really useful.
Yeah. And, okay, so there's new 3-star, which becomes 4-star gear. So there's Hulk Hogan, Bray Wyatt, and what's the third one?
Stephanie McMahon.
Stephanie McMahon, there.
So here's Stephanie McMahon's.
Yep.
So lifesteal, and crit chance on signature 2, and her move is...
Adrenaline regen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, 125% additional after tagging in. So she would actually be a good match for like a tag-in, tag-out team.
Yeah.
Like with Enlightened Big Show, where he gives regen, she gives regen, they're just back and forth.
And what was that gear that came out very recently that also gives regen on tag-in? What was it called? I am blanking.
Battleground?
Yeah, Battleground, that's what it is. So, those two together would grant ridiculous regen on Stephanie McMahon. That'd be like 375% regen on tag-in, if it stacks.
I think that's definitely worth trying. Yeah, it's funny because some of the stuff I know definitely doesn't stack. The heal does not stack. Like when you...
It'll use the higher one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if it stacks, that'd be ridiculous. If it doesn't stack, it's kind of useless. So this is the Hulk Hogan gear, which is max health increase, he gets adrenaline drain chance, and blocking, which is pretty good. Blocking gear is always useful for those harder fights, right? Or just for your tank.
Now, I guess what's interesting is I wonder if they're going to... I mean, they've obviously gotten a lot of trouble to have the gear and the characters. I wonder if they're going to take it out now that Hulk Hogan's been let go from WWE.
Yeah. And then here's Haunted Lamp, so this is for Bray Wyatt. So you get damage boost to Signature 1, which is pretty good. Remind me, is Bray Wyatt's Signature 1 powerful, or is it...
Honestly, I think it's... the one Bray Wyatt that we've got, it's relatively weak because his attack is weak, because he's the one that's like Doomsday. Containment Pickle Suit Doomsday, where he comes back...
Mad Scientist, yeah, with the heals.
Yeah.
For sure. And so the Adrenaline chance on Signature 2 is pretty good, and the heal self on Signature 1, again, this is kind of the special gear for Bray Wyatt. Signature 2 can be special, but can be the one that you're mincing my words today, sorry. But anyways, we're gonna change things up a bit, and maybe we're gonna start answering some of the more complicated questions that come up in the comments, often more than once. So one question that we get a lot is this team any good? And then they give us 3, usually gold characters, sometimes all the gear they have, and just say, what's the best team I can make? Is this team good? What do I do? And so the answer to, is this team good, is the same answer as to the question, are you winning? Oh, so this is the max out version. We can see you get a little bit more heal self, you get a little bit more damage boost, and we'll be maxing out all the specific gear as we go through. So this could easily apply to all 3 of the games. That is this team good? Are these 3 characters good together? But we mostly get it asked about Injustice. And so maybe it's the wrong question. If you've already got a team in mind, the best criterion for deciding if it's any good is play it and see if you win. We do play these games a lot and we know a lot about them, but we haven't tried out every character combination, and it's a lot better to test it out for yourself and see if it fits into your play style and all of that. And there's a lot of other factors that isn't just, you know, our opinion that would be more helpful to you.
I think that's actually a perfect point. It really totally depends on your playstyle. So somebody who's attacking all the time is going to probably want a different team than somebody who's willing to spend a lot of time building up to specials, blocking a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah, our strategy in this game and a lot of games is basically hit hard, hit fast, don't get hit back. And for us that works easiest because you get fast fights, yeah, you get really powerful hits, but, and the main thing that helps with that is a lot of gear and synergy that allows you to start out with high specials to start, lets you deal a lot of damage on a certain special, lets you deal a ton of basic damage. And it's that kind of stuff that's always the best in our opinion. But you might play a healing game where you like more long drawn out battles, and that's completely fine. And so, as many of you have probably seen with our multiplayer team videos, which have been almost all on Injustice,
and we will put the links in the description, actually.
We've done a bunch of different teams that can all handle Epic 5 fight battles in multiplayer and win. And so the great thing about Injustice is because they all have, there's a bunch of characters, a bunch of abilities, there's a lot of different combinations that can make a winning team. And maybe the commenters are looking for the answers to different questions, which is, how do I make this team better? How do I improve the most on what I already have? And so, we've got some stuff on this too. If you look at our series on how to build a multiplayer team, that's temporarily on hiatus, we haven't finished it yet. Certain principles apply to almost all well-made teams. So we've started the series talking about having a tank, which is someone strong enough to take some damage and still survive, usually with blocking gear and stuff like that. We've also talked about having a basic damage dealer, because very few teams can get away with doing only specials. So, there are also some other general principles that apply which we haven't actually talked about yet. So, you gotta be careful with an unbalanced team, meaning a team where one member's stats are way out of line with everybody else's, like having one gold character, and then using, like, Bronze Lex Luthor to support him. Or
and that's not always an awful strategy, because you can win, right? Because that one guy with the right support character is going to be really strong, and walk through the other team like butter.
The main problem with this is the unfavorable matchups. If you're relying on one card to finish everybody, and you get enemies where often in multiplayer, the later fights, they try to stack up better and better enemies against you, where if all three of your guys are high-level golds, it's hard to get a huge amount better than what you already have for a team. But if you have one gold and two bronzes, near the end, you start seeing full gold teams, maybe not full elite, but you start seeing teams where each of their guys is almost as good as your best guy, or sometimes even a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it seems like the pattern for the matchups is that their team can have guys that are a little bit better than your best guy, and they can all three be a little bit better than your best guy.
Yeah, and so it's hard when you have all three of them are better than your best character. All three of them have higher stats. Maybe not better synergy, but that's besides the point. And you only have one guy who's not as good as anybody on their team to beat all of them, and your other guys essentially aren't useful by themselves at all. And so that's one thing that we see being a really large potential drawback on a team that you're trying to make. But in general, I think it's if you're winning, or even short of that, if you're having a lot of fun with the team. Like, we always loved the Flash, and he wasn't always necessarily the best character to use, he wasn't always necessarily a character who made sense to use in multiplayer, but we have, one of our earlier videos is a team based around using Elseworld Flash, just because he was so much fun to play with. And so if you're having a lot of fun, and as long as you're still winning enough to, get the items that you want and be making progress, it really is entirely up to you what team you want to use, right? And it's not just a formula.
Yeah, so you can see Bray Wyatt, actually, his base damage was the lowest of the recent three characters that we've all got at level 36, because when he comes back, he not only does he get a little bit of health back, but his attack also comes up.
Yeah.
So that's why they started so low, because it'll eventually get boosted, but then a boost from gear cards or equipment cards only boosts off the basic damage, like the basic damage, I mean.
So he is basically Containment Suit Doomsday, except instead of doing the 50% back each time, they do 75, then 50, then 25. So it's essentially the same thing, but I think it's a little more interesting.
And he's missing the power gen.
Oh, he's missing starting with
a bar and a half every time he resurrects.
Yeah, true. Those two things.
So, in another 2 days, we announced it a while ago, we never got around to finishing it, we'll have our Mortal Kombat 100 Combat Pack opening.
Yeah.
And we were originally planning on doing it fast forward, but we ended up talking a lot during the video and a lot of stuff specific to the game and jibber jabber that was not specific. And you know what? If you need to, you can always scrub ahead to the end to get the summary of.
Yeah, so you got the last couple of minutes which go over just the stats for everything that we got, and the entire in-between stuff is just us chatting about various things. So
thanks for watching.
We'll see you guys next time.